Welcome to our very exciting first ever fully part of the monthly journaling club experience where we're actually going to sit down and journal together, looking back on the first month of 2024. I cannot believe, honestly, that we are here and ready to be reflecting on an entire month of the year. Like, did anybody else just feel like this was a complete blur? I feel like the entire month of January just flew by, but here we are. Time moves on whether we like it or not, and we get to now take a moment to reflect on the month together, really just hit pause and look back and see what all did happen so that maybe it becomes a little bit more clear and not as much of a blur. But I really am so excited to journal with you. If you're new, my name is Kelsey Lee, and here at My Abiding Journal, we're all about helping you to explore your creativity and document your life. And this live stream is part of our monthly journaling club where we get together once a month and document our lives by really creating month at a glance pages. Of course, you are free to journal however you want during this time. You don't have to follow what I am doing, but that's the general idea, is that this would be more of an opportunity for you to journal and take a moment to maybe create a spread that is going to document your entire month at a glance. That at least is what I am going to be working on. And so I'm just gonna say hello to some of our friends here in the chat. Hi, Wendy and Sammy and Fernando. And I see HJS. I'm not sure what your full name is there, but you have to leave a little bit early for Bible study, which is totally understandable and okay. But yes, there will be a replay that you can catch up on. Kay is here, Diana, Janny, Jackie, and I know many others. So do say hello in the chat. That is part of the fun of hanging out, is that it feels like you're not having to journal by yourself, that it really is a club and an exciting time to hang out with other people who also enjoy journaling as much as you and documenting. Hi, Denise and B and Brandy. Hi, Hannah. Okay, got it. Hannah, welcome. Elaine, Allison from Australia. Wow, amazing. I knew you were trying to figure out if the time was going to work out for you, so I'm glad it did. I have my tea here in my beautiful little mug. So this is a, what is it called? Candy Cane Lane tea from Celestial Seasonings, I believe is how you say their name. One of my all-time favorites. It's a holiday tea that they only put out during that time of year, so I always try to stock up on it because it's really great. I'd love to know where you guys are tuning in from. I see Patricia is from Virginia. Brandy is hopping on. Bree, okay. Marissa from Iowa. We have Claire from Florida, Canada, Montana. So amazing to see where everybody is from. I am in Pennsylvania, and we have had a lot of dreary days, a lot of clouds the last few weeks. So we got Northern Ireland. That's so cool. I would love to go to Ireland, high on the list, and Canada. My tea is actually still hot for a change. I feel like usually it's already cold by the time I turn on the camera. Near Chicago and Indiana, we have Sarah and Sammy. Welcome, welcome. I'm so glad you all are here and excited to journal together. We're just gonna have an awesome time. So without too much further ado, I'm gonna turn the camera around so that we can get started. But I do want to also share, for those of you who are joining us for the first time, that in the future, like I said, this is going to happen every single month on the first Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, which is so exciting. But in the future, the live stream experience is only going to be available through my Patreon, and it's completely free to join. So all you have to do is sign up for a free membership and you'll get notified when we're ready to go live, and then you'll just go to the link through my Patreon. And the way that you sign up is by going to patreon.com/myabidingjournal, and I have the link down in the description. And by joining, you'll also get access to some free printables that I have over on Patreon. You'll also get notified whenever a new video comes out. So it's a great place to be regardless, but do know that in the future, that's where we're going to be doing the full live streams. It'll still be housed in YouTube, but you'll only know about it and be able to get the link if you're on Patreon. So now let's turn the camera around. Hi, Belinda. I'm so glad that you're here. And Letitia, I hope I said your name right, from Brazil. That's so awesome. And we have Denise. Okay, so here we go. We're gonna turn the camera around. Jeannie has her back to us. She's always on the bed, as many of you know who've been here for a while. She's typically hanging out with us. And usually the nice thing about doing these in the evening my time is that she is in sleep mode. So she hopefully won't be barking or trying to play or anything like that. So I'm gonna move you guys to the side so I can still follow along in the chat. And you can see I have piles of stuff all ready to go. I sent out to everybody on Patreon a list of kind of 5 tips to get ready to do a monthly journaling session. And one of my main tips was to clear off your desk and just get yourself in a tidy space. And I kind of did that, but it's a little bit of a mess still over here. And the other tip was to gather all of the materials that you know you're going to want to use. So I have piles and piles of stuff ready to go to document. I don't even know if I'm going to use this. It's very big and in the way, but we'll just set that to the side. So first things first is I always use a lot of photos, many of you know, in my month in review journaling. So I did go ahead and print out my photos for the month already. So I actually did one, a few facing this way. It doesn't really matter just because I'm going to cut them all out anyways. So they're all kind of facing in different directions just to make them fit well. My printer rather, is making a lot of noise back there all of a sudden. So for this entry, I actually decided to use my new, I think it's like a luster, is the paper quality. It's a new photo paper that I got. So this way it's not quite as glossy. It doesn't have as much of a reflection. But I just create the photo collages in an app called Pic Collage. It's P-I-C Collage. And I'm not sure if it costs any money now. I think when I downloaded it, it was free or maybe just like $1. But that is how I put all of my photos into a collage. I just do it on my phone and then print them out. This collage is actually a 5x7 sheet, but in the past I've done it on a 4x6. So you can really do whatever is going to make the most sense for your photos and how many you want to use. But the nice thing about creating a collage is, of course, that you get all of the photos to be nice and tiny to fit into your journal, but also I like that you can add some captions directly to your photos. So you can see for this really beautiful photo from the summit of one of the mountains we climbed this January, I just did a little caption of "all good things are wild and free." I thought that was very appropriate for documenting that trip. And then I just have some other photos that we'll talk about as we get journaling and reflect on our month together. So here I have my monthly journal, and my journal is dedicated just for my kind of annual spreads and my monthly spreads. So that way this journal over time will become a journal that features multiple years of my life. So you can see at the front, I have the free printable that's available on Patreon for the month in review journal prompts. And we're going to talk through some of these things as you're thinking about what you might want to journal about during this time. So different events, favorite things is always something I love to journal about. And then we have things to reflect on. And of course, the season that we're in, and using that to think about how we might want to decorate our pages. So I've already done 2023, and I'm really excited because I just have to edit it, a really, really long in-depth flip through of all of my 2023 month in review entries. So that video is going to be coming very soon. And then I created a 2023 books in review spread and a what a year spread. I think we did this in our last live stream when we had our launch party, but you didn't see all of the things actually filled out. So this is what they look like filled out as I reflected on the year. And then I did set up some annual pages for 2024. I just need to go and do some of the journaling. Let this be a just encouragement to you to not put pressure on yourself about the fact that it's already February, and you can still reflect on last year. You can still reflect on what you want to happen this year. There are no rules, so I am giving myself grace about the fact that I haven't yet sat down to really think about these things. But that is coming, where I want to reflect on, what I'm going to do this year, what do I want to learn, become, and let go of. And these are all printables from Patreon as well. And these ones here are the free printable that I made available for the start of 2024 and the monthly journaling club. So that would be a really fun sticker to put into your journal as you're documenting January. And then the last spread I created that I haven't shared yet is this 25 by 2025 list. I'm really excited about this entry. This is going to be essentially kind of like a goals New Year checklist. They're not really goals so much as more of just tasks that I've been meaning to do for a very long time, or just have kind of been in the back of my mind for a while. And this was my way of saying, let's actually get it done this year and have a track record of having a productive year. Hopefully that will be the case by the time we all come together at the end of this year, and I'll have many of these things checked off. So I have house projects on here, I have organization projects, I have self-care and creativity, travel experiences, and then miscellaneous tasks that I've been meaning to do or that just came up, like buying a new car. We'll talk about that more in a little bit because that has a lot to do with what happened in January. And then I just left 2 blanks so that way if other things come up, I can add them in time. So then my next spread is going to be where I document January. So that's what we're going to now do together. As I said, I have all of my photos ready to go, so I'm going to cut them out shortly. But first, I want to put my title on the page. That is always my first step when creating my month in review entries. Last year, I did all of the entries with a title of the month with a stencil that I had, just a letter stencil, and then just wrote them all out that way. This year, since all of our printable stickers for each month are going to be literally themed after the month, I have the title built into the printable stickers. So that way all of you who are on Patreon on one of those tiers will all be able to use the same title. Should you wish, you also can use your own way of writing it as well. But I think that'll be a fun way to have them all have a similar look. So they're all going to have this look to them, but be different color palettes for each month. So I'm going to use that for our January collection. And if you want the sticker collection, it is available in my digital shop on Patreon. And then all of my patrons on the Abiding Hope tier and up get access to the entire sticker shop included in their membership. And if you are on the Abiding Love tier, you'll get a mini printable version that's like a sample sheet of some of these stickers. So there are places for you, boxes for you to do some journaling in and write down things that are happening in the month. There are ways for you to document just different things related to the month of January, like maybe setting goals or habits. There's some fun things like the flowers of the month are down here, a little history of how the January name came to be. And then there are also the little date stickers for major holidays and also just fun days like Bubble Bath Day and Puzzle Day on here. Lots of fun word strips that might be applicable for your month, and then some quotes as well. So I'm definitely going to be playing with some of those. And then I wanted to give everybody a sneak peek. It's not really a sneak peek because I did just make them live. But I wanted to share with you what the February collection looks like for next month. So we have this really beautiful color palette that my patrons selected. And so we have some kind of Valentine's Day, romantic, a little postcard. Again, the flowers of the month are here that you could write over or just use as pretty additions to your page. There are some fun facts about Valentine's Day, Groundhog's Day, and Leap Day. This one I'm really excited for. There's a day in February that's called Love Your Pets Day. And so for all of you with pets, I thought this would be a fun sticker for you to use to introduce your pet and write their name and maybe their nicknames, their favorite foods, what they love to do. And then you can put a little photo of your pet in this square. There are some things related to continuing your resolutions, maybe about exercising, relaxing. We got a little bubble bath. And then again, same idea. We have some of the fun little holidays that happen throughout the month. Some different quotes and phrases related to winter or like the start of spring coming. There's some things about maybe being proud of yourself with your resolutions, you know, still going strong, progress is more than perfect, give yourself grace. And then there are some stickers for those of us who are in the camp of feeling like your resolutions have already gone out the window. There's feeling lazy, motivation zero, goodbye goals, hello hibernation. So those are fun. Also, for those of you who are in the US or maybe follow along with US sports and football, there's some Super Bowl Sunday quotes. And this one I think is funny at least. So I have, I'm here for the snacks, the halftime show, or T-Swift. So you can kind of choose what is your reason for watching the Super Bowl this year. I thought I was being funny at least. And then there are some more, you know, fun quotes and then some little award stickers that you can give yourself for just, you know, February is one of those months where you kind of just feel like you need a prize for getting out of bed that day or just moving your body and going for a walk, actually making a to-do list. So that's the idea of these, is just giving yourself a little gold star in a way for actually getting something done. And then we also have more little word boxes and just places for you to write things about your month or do some highlights. So I'm really excited for you guys to download and play with these. That, of course, is for next month, but I make them available now so that you can be using them throughout the month in your planners or in your daily journals, however, you know, you want to be playing with them. So yeah, that's your sneak peek of February. They're already posted if you want to download them. If you saw a sticker you really want to use in this session, you can go and do that. I just haven't posted the like announcement post about the new collection yet because I just didn't quite have time before coming on the live stream today. Okay, so I'm so glad you think it's going to be a fun year. I hope so too. I think it will be. You know, it's really such a blessing to me to have this community. So I'm glad that you guys are all showing up in here and willing to spend the time with me and hang out. Sorry if you can hear, there's like a weird humming noise that happens every now and then outside our home. I think because we live pretty close to the airport, and it is my mission to one day figure out what precisely is the source of that humming noise. But maybe the phone is not quite picking it up, hopefully, for the live stream. So I'm gonna just cut out all of my photos here. I'd love to know if you all are using photos in your journal entry for January, or if you're kind of using another way of documenting it. Maybe you're using illustrations or stickers. Hi, Rora. Welcome from India. Aw, that's very sweet, Jackie. Yes, the nice thing about month in review journaling is if you want to use photos, it's a little bit easier to plan ahead and go get them printed somewhere if you're not able to print them at home. If you don't have an at-home printer that does well with photos, you can always create a collage using an app, or Canva is free. That's a great resource as well that you could put your photos in and organize them in a nice layout to print them. And then you can just take that image file to Walmart or Staples or some other office store and get them printed that way. Not sure where my scissors went. I have these ones, but they're not the cute ones that I'm looking for. Sometimes it's a little easier to just cut it off with scissors when it's a really tiny edge. Yes, Doodles is a great way to document what's happening as well. That's something I would actually like to incorporate a little bit more this year, is some illustrations in my journaling for month in review and for like kind of daily entries and stuff too. I just would like the experience of creating art more. And I really do think that that can add such a unique and very personal touch to your journaling. So there are all my photos printed out. And I'm gonna grab my January sheet so that we can put the title on. Something you guys can help me with is I've been debating in my head whether I want to put the title just on one side of the page, or if I want to split it down the middle like I did for the previous year. How often do I go through ink? I assume you're talking about printer ink. And so far, since I got this printer, I want to say a year ago, and I have not yet run out of ink. In fact, all of my wells are still half full, if not over half full, and I print pretty regularly. I have an EcoTank printer, so the whole point of an EcoTank printer is the fact that it takes a long time for you to run out of ink because you're not using cartridges, you're filling wells with your ink. So you get bottles of ink instead. So it's really great if you're somebody who's printing a lot. So what I'm trying to decide is, do I want to put the title just on one side and then, you know, continue to build things around on this side, or do I want to put it in the middle where it would kind of go like that? I probably would cut it here and then put one side on each. So that way it would be kind of similar to this. Obviously this is smaller than the titles that I did before because I was using such a large stencil. So I'd love your opinions on what you think. Middle or on the left-hand side? Okay, we got 2 votes for middle. I'll let a few more people weigh in before I make a decision. Okay, Rebecca says left. Ray, Kay, Janny, Elaine, Belinda are all voting middle. Okay, I'll go with majority. Majority vote says middle, but I also see the benefits of going left, so I appreciate those of you who said left. The nice thing about going left would be like I could do something really big and cool happening over here. I don't have to keep it the same every single month either, though I probably will because I'm all about that consistency in terms of how it looks. I'd love to know how many of you are using the January collection in your month in review entry. So I just cut off the first part, since that tends to be when people do shortened versions. They tend to just say Jan or Feb or March. So that's kind of how I decide where to break it up. And I'm just eyeballing what I've decided the middle is going to be. You don't have to put it in the middle either. That's just something that I personally like the look of and like in some ways the freedom of, because it makes it a little bit easier, I think, to design the rest of the page, because it feels like you really have the page started, as opposed to if you just put it up in the corner, then it feels also like you maybe have to go more in like chronological order, whereas doing it this way, you can really put down the memories wherever you like and not worry too much about when precisely they happened. So I'm just following my little dot grid in this journal to help me put them down. So there we have January in the center of the page. And now we can have fun building our entry around it. So I'm going to start by trying to lay out some of my photos, or if you have stickers or items like that that you know you want to use, I think that's just always a helpful first start. Start with the items that you know you're definitely going to want to use in that entry. I printed quite a few photos from our trip to New Hampshire. We've gone the last few years to New Hampshire to the White Mountains to ice climb and hike and climb some of the presidential peaks. And I know that I'm going to want to do some travel entries in my travel journal eventually of this trip, but I do want it to be a major feature of this page since it was kind of the highlight of the month. I also have some books, so I'll put those somewhere. We have our New Year journal party from when we had our launch, so I just printed out the thumbnail actually of that, so I'm going to put that on the page, probably up in this corner since it was something that kind of launched the year. Went wedding dress shopping with my best friend and she picked one. It wasn't this one, so I purposefully picked a dress that was just gigantic and enormous and one that is not her at all and she wasn't going to go with anyways, but I think it's fun to look back on and have that of her wedding dress. And we had a little movie night together and watched our childhood favorite, Anastasia, my all-time favorite movie as a kid and still one of my favorites as an adult. I love Anastasia. If any of you have seen it. Went to a cafe. We did get some snow in Pennsylvania and also got to experience snow up north. So that is something that I want to highlight as well, is just having some snow at last. Yes, Sammy, isn't that movie so great? Oh, that's great, Brie, that your daughter's getting married. Congratulations. That's such a fun time to be a mom, I'm sure. And then sad things that happened this month, because as much as I love reflecting on all the happy, I do think it's important to also honor the fact that we experience ups and downs throughout our months. And we did lose Ben's nanny this month, so I have this really sweet picture of her and Ben from a few years ago. And she had a very long, wonderful life. She had a relationship with Jesus, and honestly, it's a blessing to know that she's no longer in pain and suffering and that she is free at last with our Lord and Savior. But I did want to honor her memory by putting a photo of her in our journal here. So we'll definitely be using that somewhere. And then the other sad thing that happened this year is our car was parked in front of our house and a older woman, she had a medical emergency and unfortunately blacked out at the wheel on our street and ran headfirst into Ben's car that was parked in front of our house. And as you can see, she totaled it. It is completely destroyed. But in all the terribleness of meaning we have to get a new car and, that's not a fun process at all, especially in today's market. Yeah, huge surprise that one of those life things that gets thrown at you and you never expect, and all of a sudden your husband's texting you saying somebody hit my car in front of the house. But the blessing in this is that she was not hurt at all. She was completely okay. And Ben wasn't in the car. It wasn't an accident in which, two people ran into each other or anything like that. So it could have been so, so much worse. And that's the important thing, is that everybody was okay. But we are now car shopping. So that was the other piece of our month. So I would love to know kind of what your highlight of the month is in the chat if you're willing to share. What's your big feature piece going to be for this entry that you're really excited about to document? I think that would be really fun for everybody to share. We also had my best friend's baby shower. That's what this photo is of. I realized I didn't mention that. I started a new skincare routine because a woman that I go to church with, she has a little business. If you're interested in checking it out, it's called noblelivingco.com, and she sells a really great moisturizer, and it's all natural. Everything that she creates is, you know, there it is. That's the ingredients. It's completely natural. So she has a routine of raw honey, witch hazel, and then the moisturizer. And I've been using that for the last month or so and really have been enjoying it and feeling like my skin does look a lot healthier. Certainly more moisturized than it ever has. So I do want to put this in here somewhere. I don't know if I want the Live in Your Natural Beauty or maybe just the little logo. So that was a piece that came with it that I decided to hold on to. And then some other pieces that I have is Planet Fitness has their little leave a kind message thing. So I stole one of them, even though they're supposed to be hung on the wall, but I wanted it to cut out, you know, Planet Fitness logo since we have been going to the gym this month together. Bad time to be going to the gym though, because everybody is going to the gym. And what else do I have? I did save a Sharp Shopper receipt because I thought I might want to talk about meal prepping or something like that, but I'm not sure that I'm going to use this. And I have this little piece that I cut out from my tiny book of tiny pleasures from Flow magazine. I love all the little illustrations in this, so this is a fun one to use for journaling. And I think I have this linked in my Amazon shop if you're interested in checking it out. But I did cut out the silent phone because I've been very good this year, and one of the things I want to document is a new habit that I developed maybe even before January started, is I started leaving my phone in the bathroom when I go to bed and not bringing it into the bedroom with me. So essentially I have a no phone in the bedroom policy that I've started, and it has been just so nice because I no longer am waking up and turning over and grabbing my phone and spending the first 30 minutes of my day on my phone. So it's just been a lovely habit. I highly recommend giving it a try. I also have a little reading in bed cutout from the tiny book of tiny pleasures as well. So that's something I'm pretty much doing all the time, every month, every day. I always read in bed before I go to sleep. It's an absolute must. No matter what time it is, I will read in bed before I go to sleep. So I might put that in here as well. Oh, I also, I actually think, I want to use it for this one, but I think I originally cut this out for this one because we made the bibimbap. It's like a Korean dish. We had made that, and I meant to use it for that, but I think I'm going to use it for this one instead. Well, I don't know. We'll see. The reading in bed is from the same book. It's the tiny book of tiny pleasures by Flo, and like I said, I'm pretty sure it's still available on Amazon and linked in my shop. So those are some of the other items that I have. I have a few, these are like the only prompts I have left from the January prompts that are available on Patreon, but I might use some of these. My ideal snow day. I have this beautiful piece, which is from a card that I saved forever ago. I think this was from last Christmas. So always hold on to your Christmas cards. You never know when they might come in handy. And I think I might cut out one of these cute little black cap chickadees because I saw some in the yard the other day, and I love black-capped chickadees. So that would be a fun little addition for the January page as well. We went to trivia, and so I have our little score sheet from our trivia game that we played at a local pub, and so I might cut out this as well. So these are just some examples of how you can be holding on to things and collecting them throughout the month. So it's not just photos in your journal and stickers, but also those really personal little touches from your everyday life. I also grabbed 2 magazines. These are like free magazines that are made available when you're in kind of like a touristy town. A lot of times, like, they'll have these kinds of magazines that they just make for their area. So that's what they do in North Conway, Mount Washington. So I always grab these when I visit, so that way I can cut them out and use them in my journal. So I think I might use even this one actually for Mount Washington Valley. And then I'll probably, maybe I'll do this instead, because I think I did this same strip actually. I'm gonna make all my photos fly if I turn the page, but let me go back to January. Yeah, see? In January of last year, winter 2023, I got the same magazine, and it's just a different color this year. And I cut out that strip to use in that entry. So how cool would that be if I did the same exact thing, but now it said winter 2024. So I think that's what I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna do it up in this corner again, just like I did last year, because I really loved how this section turned out. Okay, that's what we're gonna do. So I'm gonna focus on that piece first because I just wanna get something on the page, and I know that a big blank page like this can be overwhelming and it can be kind of like, oh, where do I even begin? So I recommend just starting with one thing that you know you want to document. Start with that one big thing and get that on the page first, and then you can kind of just build and have it flow from there. Yes, that's a great idea, Bree. Use the receipt from the project that you did and just use the store name. Just looking at your comments. I need to find my other stickers, or not stickers, my other scissors. So I really don't like these ones. But I'll just cut that out with the scissors for ease. And then use the paper trimmer. Is one of my, I think I failed to mention this in my most recent video on everything you need to start creative journaling. And I was talking about adhesive, and I think I might have mentioned, I think I mentioned scissors. I hope I did. But I don't think I mentioned a paper trimmer, and I love my paper trimmer, so it is pretty much an absolute essential for me. If you're somebody who can cut pretty straight lines, then it's not as essential, but I much prefer letting the paper trimmer do it for me. Okay, so we have that. Oh, another thing that I cut out with the intention of potentially using is this beautiful, like, holographic snowflake. And this was also from a Christmas card that we got this year, and so I just both of these. This was on it too, on the Christmas card. So I just cut these out to use in future journaling and maybe in current journaling because I think I might like to use this piece. So I'm not sure if I want to use all of these. Like, I don't think I need both group photos for this entry since I'm going to be doing an entry that is in my travel journal where I'll go more in depth. So I think what I'm gonna do is save this one of us kind of gathered for ice climbing and just do these three because it kind of captures everything. We have us on the top of our summits. I have me ice climbing, hanging off the frozen waterfall, and then the views. All things are wild and free. So I'm thinking that I kind of like that look of it layered. And since this is a longer piece, I'm gonna have it extend onto the left side. I personally don't tend to do more than a 2-page spread for my month in review entries. If there's more that I want to document, then I would just move that into another journal. In part because I purposefully use a really large journal. This is a size B5, and the whole reason I use a really big journal is so that I can include pretty much everything that I want to document. If there is a time where there's more that I want to add and I can't quite fit it on the page, what I'll do is actually add in tip-ins so that way I can add some additional memories. A tip-in is just where you take a card, so say like this, and you just tape it in to your journal on one side, and that way you can flip it up and then add more memories on the back or on the front. So it's just kind of like adding an additional mini page to your journal. Okay, so there we have that. And then I'm just using my tape runner. This is the Teresa Collins Xyron Mega Runner. It's just what I happen to have. My mom got it for me years and years and years ago. And I just get the refills. But any kind of tape runner or glue stick is great for this. Did any of you travel anywhere in January, whether like a little weekend trip or even just to visit family? Or maybe you have like a big vacation that you like to do in January, go somewhere warm. So there we have my little corner to document that. I might cut out my little puffy coat. Decide how to get to it. The nice thing about a lot of these stickers, as I'm looking at them, is you can really use them well into February and even March, depending on where you live as well. So a lot of them are just kind of general wintry stickers. Oh, I'm so glad you used your silhouette. Did that work well for cutting out the stickers? I have a Cricut that I keep meaning to set up and try to print out this and cut out the stickers in that way. I do try to design them so that hopefully the machines pick up the little like borders and backgrounds so that they would come out okay when being cut by a machine, but I haven't actually tried it myself yet. Oh good, I'm so glad it worked well. So yes, for anybody who happens to have a Cricut or Silhouette machine, the printable stickers are designed so that there's a PNG file that would give you kind of a little background and border around some of the stickers. Some of them are kind of just like a box around it, but that way you can print them out and then cut them out with a machine instead of having to do it by hand. I'm debating if I do want to use this. I could do it up here. Maybe I'll do that. And we have to use this sticker for this because I pretty much designed it with this in mind. That is the slight benefit of being the one who's designing the stickers, is you kind of get to think about what are the things I know I'm going to be documenting and might want a sticker for. And this is an example where I knew that we would be going ice climbing, and so I wanted a sticker to document winter adventures. Do any of you do kind of some kind of winter sport or activity? Do you like to go winter hiking, or do any of you ski or snowboard? Is that something any of you are going to be documenting for January? That's a good question to ask yourself, if there's any kind of activity like that that maybe you're doing that month. I'm trying to think about if there's a word that I might want to put here, because I kind of purposefully made it a winter blank so that you could write in the activity that you maybe are doing in the winter. Cut this one out a while because definitely did a lot of planning to kick off January. Been using my Sterling Ink Common Planner every day, and that's been a really great new practice of just using a planner again. Is that something you guys do as well? Are you guys planners? And if so, what planner do you use? Okay, a weekly from Muji and a bullet journal, scribbles. The Sterling Ink B6. I've kind of been kicking myself that I went for the weeks instead of the B6 because I think I would prefer the B6 for doing daily entries in the back. But honestly, the only reason I went with the weeks instead of the B6 is because I already had a cover that is a week's size. So I should have just gone with the other one, but that's okay. I do like the portability of the weeks in terms of the size. I really, really don't like these scissors. I need different ones. Let me try these ones. So I'm putting this one up here to kind of help balance these ones down here. So just that way you have a group of threes. Threes, odd numbers are always nice just visually when you're journaling. So that's a good design rule to keep in mind. The edge there. Still struggling a little bit with my photo paper and getting the adhesive to work well with it to stick it down. So something I still need to work out. But I'm liking how this corner is looking for kind of our big memory of the year. And I think I'm just going to write, maybe do like a little background. So I'm just doing kind of like little blocks of color that I'm going to write over. Kind of just helps to provide a nice anchor for your text, makes it look more intentional, And by putting the color down first, it means you're not smearing it by going over it with the color. I have not picked a word for the year. That is a good question, and it's something that I have on my list to think about, because I have this word of the year sticker, which is kind of a ironic sticker because it's a Bible, so the whole point is like the Bible is your word of the year. But I think I want to pick like a verse potentially as my word of the year. But I would love to know if any of you have chosen a word of the year. So the two mountains that we climbed in the presidential range were Mount Jefferson and Clay. So I'm just kind of doing a little bit of lettering to record the mountains that we summited. That is a great word of the year, Fernanda. I love that. Declutter. Yes. It's not my word of the year, but it is definitely a goal for my year. And I'll use just a regular, this is my Rytec gel pen in 0.5. I have these linked in the Amazon shop as well. This is a new collection of pens that I picked up more recently, and I'm really enjoying using them. So I'm just going to write after that. So I'm just writing 2 more summits with exceptional views of the valley and Mount Washington. And I really don't know how we've gotten so lucky in the years that we've gone, because we're essentially just picking the dates and going and hoping that we'll have a good weather window. And when we summited on this day, we hiked past the tree line and it was cloudy, and then literally as we were climbing, we just watched all of the clouds roll away from the mountain and just give us the most beautiful blue skies and brilliant views of the valley. And you could see Mount Washington really clearly from these 2 peaks as well, which is the highest mountain of the range. So it was a great trip, and I love this little section to remember it. And then I think what I'll do is just write maybe and ice climbing. And unfortunately, the weather was less amazing for ice climbing. Our first day we had freezing rain, and the second day was beautiful. We had beautiful snow, but it also got to be a bit much after a while, a little hard to climb in because it was coming down so fast. So just some quick little journaling, really brief, is typically how I like to do it on these pages. I like to say something about it, especially when it's a bigger thing like a trip, but it's not going to be super long form. A lot of times I'm basically just doing a caption of some kind. Hi, Emily. So glad you could join us. And then to kind of separate this, I'm just going to draw a line using that same color pen. And that'll just provide a little bit of a demarcation point as I create the rest of the spread. I might also use this fun strip that kind of has a nice sweater feel to it, winter sweater, but also picks up on that look of the snowflakes. This would be a really nice just kind of piece to use as a border to give your eye a break, to divide different things you're talking about on the page. It also would be a really great thing to use for layering, or if you have a white gel pen to do a title over it. That also would be a nice way to use this one. So I'm thinking I might put this down here. Yeah. We're just gonna do it. Try not to think too much sometimes about these pages. You know, there's 1,000 different ways that you could lay everything out, but it doesn't mean you have to consider all 1,000 of the options. Sometimes you just have to commit once you see something you like. Okay, I was like, where did all my photos go? They're hiding behind my journal. So let's see what else. I have some other big pieces that take up a lot of room. I have this really big sticker from this cafe that I went to again this month that I really enjoy going to occasionally on a lunch break. So what I might do is just put half of the sticker on instead of trying to fit the whole thing on. Sometimes you know that can be a little bit overwhelming when you have such a big piece. But if you just use a part of it, then it doesn't feel quite so large and in charge. So I think that might be what I do. Just get one of these big pieces done. Actually, I'm going to trim it first. Oh no. It slipped out of my hand. Okay, there we go. So I'm just going to put that at the bottom, and I don't know if I want to layer the photo over this because it kind of has a little peek of my planner. Not that you really can tell what that is. Or if I should stick it under. I think I probably like that better, even though it covers up my planner, but that's okay. I could still use a sticker or something to talk about planning. I could even use like this sticker, potentially. See if we can get it off. There we go. So, Amanita, if you're ever in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, highly recommend. It's a really good cafe. And maybe I'll put this here. I kind of like how you have like this circle and then you have this circle of the Dream It. We're gonna do it with the table. There we go. And as you can see, I kind of hop around all over the place. So I'm going to go back up here, and now I'm going to add this photo, which is of the creek by the house. And I've been walking down there in the mornings and taking Jeannie on my morning walks. One of my other new habits that I'm trying to do pretty much daily, or at least all the days where I'm working from home and can kind of have a slightly slower morning, is do a morning prayer walk where I just walk for, 10 minutes with Jean. We typically go down to the creek and I just spend that time in prayer if I can. So I have this sticker of this girl walking her dog. This is a sticker that I got from Obujo. I still have to film the unboxing and journal with me because they sent me some more stuff from their shop, but I love Obujo and I have them linked and a discount code shared if you're interested. Okay, I'll put her maybe on this side. And then I can journal a little bit about the mornings there. I could also use, I don't think that's going to be too big though, in terms of the amount of space I have here, because these would also be really good to just write inside. I have this morning routine sticker. We have the gym. Also have this habits, but I think that's bigger than I want it to be. Maybe what I'll do instead is use this one First we form habits, then they form us. Yes, more Obujo hauls are coming. They actually, I believe, are planning to send me a box every single month. So that way I can share with you their newest supplies. They're going to send me some of their new stuff every month, and then I'll be able to share it with you guys and let you know what I'm liking and enjoying. They're just such a great journal shop, really awesome supplies and pretty affordable. And my favorite part is that they do free shipping on orders over like, I don't know, $20 maybe. It's pretty reasonable. So maybe I would put that there and then do like my new habits. And then maybe this part I'll just talk about, it's knowing. That's what we're gonna do. So first we form habits, then they form us. I love that idea. Thank you, Fern. I'm glad you like my handwriting. I will tell you, this is important to know, that when I was in high school, it was the joke among my friends that I actually had awful handwriting. I did not have good handwriting at all, and it was not until I started practicing hand lettering that my handwriting itself then improved. And hand lettering is really an art form. It's not like your normal handwriting, because you're really doing each letter on its own. Picking up your pen between doing each letter is one of the biggest tips. Even though they're all going to connect, you always want to pick up your pen and end on that connecting point and then start your next letter. That's probably the biggest tip that made a huge difference in how I was able to do hand lettering practice. There's tons of free practice sheets available online, so highly recommend trying some of those. And I do have a really old video on my channel if you're interested. That is, I think, like a how to brush letter video where I share all of those tips. You just have to give the video some grace because it is very old and I didn't really know what I was doing on YouTube. So I guess I'm trying to think of all the things I wanted to use. So I want to use the Planet Fitness. I think I also might want to use I have these stickers. Wait, is this the right side? Yeah. I accidentally printed these stickers on the wrong side the first time, so now it's double-sided. But this collection was... what was this collection called? It'll come to me. But this whole collection was a kind of the idea of taking time for your soul and spending less time on your phone and more time doing other things. I love this collection. It's one of my favorites. But I think this would be really good for documenting the idea of less time on your phone. Put it in a shoe. And then maybe I'll use, I don't know. But then those colors, you know, aren't quite right. So then I'm like, do I want to? I don't know. But I do have those, so maybe I'll use those stickers. And then I also have tons of these journal stickers from the Document Your Life collection that I put out last year that I could use. And then I also have these stickers from the Daily Rhythms collection that also would be really good for this section here. And I don't think I've mentioned this already, but when you join Patreon, you don't only get access to that month's collection, but you get access to everything I've ever posted, ever. So it's quite a good deal if I do say so myself. So maybe, okay, I think this is also the Daily Rhythms collection. And I think I'm going to use this one because I really like this idea. And I feel like that's what I'm trying to do in January is this, you'll never change your life until you change something you do daily. And some of those habits, you know, maybe it's not daily, but it's habits that I'm building into my week has been really important. Yeah, I should do a new video about lettering that's more updated. But I just taught myself by watching YouTube videos, so you all can do it if I can do it. Just a lot of practice. I keep alternating. I need to put these scissors away because I keep grabbing the wrong ones. I don't know if I want this whole judgment-free generation thing or if I think I just want the Planet Fitness logo. Let's see. Don't really like any of the spots where this might go. So we might have to wait to decide what we want to do with that. What do you guys think? I'm debating. I don't think I want to use this. I think it's too big, and I don't know if I really like the shoe. Oh, thank you, Janie. Or Janie, I'm sorry if I said that wrong. I am glad you think so, but it really does come with a lot of practice. Learning how to lay something out and what you feel looks good. No, okay. I keep debating what sticker I want to use. I think I want to use this one. I like this question. Do you recharge your soul as often as you recharge your phone? And my whole thing is that I am spending less time with my phone in 2024. If it wasn't for this community and having my YouTube channel, I think I would have just quit Instagram altogether by now, but there's part of me that still feels like I need to hold on to it. In part so that when we are done here, one thing I do want to do each month is, if you are on Instagram and happen to be somebody who likes to share your journaling online, totally okay if you're not interested in sharing it publicly. But I would love for you to share your completed spreads. I'm going to create an add yours button, and then you can just click that and I guess add a photo of your own journal, and then people can keep sharing it, which I think will be really fun. And if you're not on social media or not interested in sharing your journaling on social media, we also have a chat in the community tab for all patrons on paid tiers. Unfortunately, they don't let me open the chats up to free patrons, which if it was up to me, that setting would be allowed, but unfortunately it's not currently on Patreon. But if you are on a paid tier, there is a chat called Monthly Journaling Club, and you can share photos of your spreads when we're done in there too. That way you can kind of see what everybody else is creating as well, and just get inspired by other people and not just me. Yeah, iPhone weekly stats is a scary place to be, for sure. I'm debating if I want to use, but I guess it wouldn't work now because I've taken up too much room. But I have this sticker in the February collection called Snow Day, nature's way of telling you to stay in, snuggle up with a good book, and sip hot cocoa. And I'm worried that I'm not going to get a snow day in February to be able to use this sticker, so I'm like, should I use it now instead? Maybe I should. I'm going to cut it out and just see how it would look on the page. I think it might be a little bit too big. If these stickers, by the way, feel like they're too big for your page, you can always scale them down. Just change the scale of your printer to either do 2 sheets to a page, which might make them a little bit too small. I don't know if all of the lettering will be legible, but maybe it still would. But if that's too small, you could just size it to be like 80% or 70%. That might work too. So yeah, see, it's gonna cover the girl up. So doesn't quite work. I mean, I could move this and maybe I wouldn't care as much about it covering the girl. I don't know. What do you guys think? Should I just find something else to put there instead? I mean, I don't love her outfit anyways. Or I don't know. Maybe it's not a bad thing. And then I would move this up to be like there. I don't know. Y'all tell me. What do you think? Okay, mixed opinions. Some people feel it looks strange with her covered. Other people think it adds to it. Anybody else have thoughts? Unfortunately, if I did it over it, I'm not sure, like if I made her over it, well, I don't know if she'll come up. But I feel like you're not gonna be able to read it still. Yeah, you won't be able to read it still. So the only option is to go over or to not do it there. All right, I'll save it for another day maybe. Oh, I could do this. Aha. All right, I think, yeah, I did think about that too, Kay, about cutting off the borders of the sticker so that way it would be a little bit smaller, which would definitely make it cover her up less, but I think it's still probably just a little too big. So instead, I think what I'm going to do is cut out this prompt sticker that is supposed to be, you can either use it as a journal prompt and use it to write about your ideal snow day. What would it be? Maybe you live in a warm place where you never get snow. So you could do a little bit of imagining what would your ideal snow day look like. Or you could use it to memory keep about a day that was your ideal snow day. Or you could literally use it just to be a caption. Okay, thank you for everybody confirming that you don't like her covered. That is helpful to know. Sometimes you just need somebody else to weigh in. Not that it wouldn't have worked out. It would have worked out just fine. Okay, I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to put this here, and then I'm going to put the Planet Fitness under it. Since it kind of like follows the arc of that sticker. To use got my little, have this little like pen version of a glue stick, which works a little bit better when you have really tiny pieces. Okay, there we go. I think maybe I'll use, debating if I want to use this hashtag my abiding journal and just cut off the 2022, or I could use the abide. This collection, by the way, I'm pretty sure was a freebie if you want to find it on my Patreon. If you go to collections, there's a free printables tab where they are linked. Most of them are attachments on like video posts, so just keep that in mind. do really hate fussy cutting circles. So this is definitely one area where having the machine cut it for you would be really nice. So I was thinking, no, I'm debating. Maybe I don't want to do this. I was gonna put it there, but okay. I'm going to go down here instead because I think this sticker would look nice with the cafe. Just like a little watch that says me time. Though actually this also, well, no, because then I feel like it sounds like me time, like the video's all about me. So I think maybe it is better down here. I actually think, I don't know. I'm responding to my own silent thoughts. I was thinking that maybe I would just cut out the circle and not use it as a watch, but then again, the whole point of it saying me time is the fact that it is a watch, because time. Be like there. And then I could add something also related to like me time around it. Like some of my reading. I need to find my charger really quick. Ooh, I found my scissors. Speaking of finding things, those are the scissors I've been wanting to use. Where did I put my charger? My iPad that I'm following along, there it is, on the chat is about to die, so. I do typically like to try and do these in under 2 hours, but sometimes it just takes a little bit longer. So maybe what I'll do is then put her, the little reading in bed girl, above the me time. try and pull that up a little bit so that way I can layer it. There we go. So we have girl reading in bed, and then I think what I'll do then is put my books down in this corner. So I didn't print out covers for all of the books I read, but I did read 4 books, or I guess I'm in the process of. So the main one that I read to start the year is Everything Sad is Untrue, a True Story by Daniel Nayeri, which is a fantastic middle grade story. So well done. And I listened to this one on audio, and oh, I just loved it. It was so good. So good. Highly recommend it. It's about a boy who is a refugee with his family, comes to the US from Iran, because his mom becomes a Christian, and so they have to become refugees. It's very good. So I have that one. And then I also listened to Matilda by Raul, what is his name? Dahl. He's a pretty famous older author. Matilda, the movie, many of you are probably familiar with it, but I had never read the book. I had only ever seen the movie that I loved as a kid, and it was just it was so well done. It was Kate Winslet actually was the narrator for the audiobook, and she was phenomenal. Her voices, I mean, obviously she's a great actress, but I was so blown away by her talent in doing that audio. It was great. So I definitely recommend listening to Matilda if you're interested in reading it, to the Kate Winslet version. And then I listened to Tuesdays with Maury, which is a great quick read. I had never read it before, and now I understand why it's, you know, such a popular book to be read in school and things like that, because it's so powerful. So many great quotes from that one that I want to look up and write in here. And then I don't actually think I'm going to put this one on this page because I just started it, so I think I'm going to save it for February, but I started listening to C.S. Lewis, The Screwtape Letters, and oh my goodness, how have I not read this book already? It is phenomenal. And this version is the Focus on the Family version, so it is literally like a full cast that brings this story to life. It's so well done, and the audio in it is amazing. I wish I want to include it on this page because I'm already so excited about it, but I think it will be better to save for February when I have finished listening to the Screwtape Letters. Yeah, so good. Highly recommend it. And I also am currently reading in print Demon Copperhead, which is based on David Copperfield by Charles Dickinson, but it's a version in like Appalachia, in the United States, which is known for like a lot of poverty and a really big place where the opium crisis kind of had a lot of problems, and it's about a boy going through foster care, and it is a heartbreaking read, but it has a lot of really powerful truths in it. I'm about halfway through it. It is a more vulgar book in terms of like it's very real kind of Appalachian how this character would talk. So there's a lot of swearing, and I understand that there's going to be some vulgar scenes kind of coming up too. So just know that. Keep that in mind. It doesn't have my full endorsement. I haven't finished it, but I am really enjoying it. I think it's a powerful read. So I think I'm going to do a quote from Tuesdays with Maury in here, and I might do a quote from Everything Sad is Untrue here. And then I think I want to do like currently reading here to write David Copperfield. And I might use, I think these are all so big. Now that I have them printed out, I'll have to print 2 to a page next time for these ones. I really just want a little sticker. I'm going to go into a sticker book that I can write like currently reading. Ooh, sorry, I hit you with the stickers. Yeah, like one of these maybe. So I'll write the title on here. And I don't remember the author's name. I think it's Barbara something, so I'll probably write that in later under it. And then let's say and Roald Dahl. That's, I had to look it up. So have what I'm currently reading, which is my kind of bedtime, not a great bedtime read, but it happens to be the print book I'm reading. And so it's what I end up picking up at bed. I used to have a habit of only reading like cozy, more happy children's books at bed. So that way I had a nighttime read that was my, you know, just the cozy happy book for before I go to sleep. And then my daytime read was usually like a World War II novel or something like that. That was more heavy because I tend to enjoy books that have heavier topics. And yeah, I think I'm going to do a quote from each of these books here. And then I'll have my like ideal snow day. I'll write a little bit about that. I'm going to do my list of my new habits in there. And then let's see what else we have. We have to do something to honor nanny. We have our dress shopping and movie night. We have to talk about the car. That's fun. And celebrating my friend and her baby shower. So I want to find, I'm gonna move on to this part, I think, because I want to find a sticker that is a printable. I still haven't organized these. I should add this to my 25 by 25 list, is organize my, oh, I put it right on top, how lovely. These stickers. This is where I keep all of my printables, and it's just an absolute mess. But there are so many, as you can see, that you get to download when you become a patron. There's also always these stickers that are super fun. See, I should have pulled out one of these when I was trying to write what book I was currently reading. That would have been perfect. But this is the sticker I wanted to find. This is from the, I never remember what these are called. The, no, I was gonna say Better Together collection, but that doesn't sound right. I think, no, maybe it is. Maybe it is Better Together. Anyway, it's that collection was all about spending time with your loved ones. And so that movie night sticker is perfect for documenting when we went dress shopping and then had our movie night together to watch Anastasia. So I'm gonna cut that out. And no worries if it's getting late where you are, if you need to head out a little bit early. The replay will be available if you want to come back and see how the page finished out. So I talked a little bit more than I needed to at the beginning to kind of introduce it. So hopefully in the future I would like to keep these to 2 hours or less. But I'd love to know how your pages are coming along. Are you further along than I am? Have you finished? Or are you about the same kind of amount as me? Getting there, but not quite finished yet. Sounds like you guys are all at about the same point as me. So we have this movie night one. This sticker sheet I printed out on my matte clear. I kind of like to switch up what sticker paper I'm using. I really prefer the matte clear unless I'm printing out stickers that I know are ones that I might want to write over, because I prefer to write over the just regular matte plain sticker paper. Okay, she's gonna get upset at me probably if she finds out that I cut her out. Oh, the sirens are going by. Because, so she's my best friend from literally grade school, and we had to do this project together in grade school where we had to create like our sarcophagus with our heads on it. Like we had to create our sarcophagus for us, which is kind of morbid now that you think about it, but that was the assignment. And I think actually you had to do it for like your friend. Maybe that's what it was. So I had to create her sarcophagus with her head on it, and I kept trying to get closer and closer to her head when fussy cutting, and until she basically was like she had no hair whatsoever left on her, and it was just not the most flattering of images by the time I was done with it. So it's kind of like our running joke about my fussy cutting her head into oblivion. But I kind of like the idea of fussy cutting her out here because I didn't need all the rest of the room, and it kind of helps to emphasize the giant dress. But I have to be careful to not cut more of her head than necessary. That's kind of a fun little picture of her in the wedding dress. So I think what I might do is actually, maybe I'll use one of these. Yes, it definitely takes some time to figure out your layout and decide where you want everything, but it also does become a little bit easier with practice. In part, it takes me a while because I'm also trying to talk a lot and keep y'all entertained a little bit. So I get distracted a lot more easily as a result. So let's see how we like this. Or, oh, you know what though? Okay, well, maybe we'll use that somewhere else. I changed my mind because I think what I want to do actually is use one of these ones with a snowflake, because I forgot that one of the whole big things about this weekend when I was visiting her is I was very upset. Don't get me wrong, I was very excited and happy to be joining her dress shopping. But I was upset because in our area we were getting like 4 inches of snow, and it was the first snow of the year, and I was missing it because I was visiting her to go dress shopping, and they were not getting any snow where she lives. It was just like rain. So I want this one that has the little snowflake on it, so I can also talk about that, and that way it's a little bit less big. So I can do that there, and have her. That was almost very loud. More loud than it was because it almost fell on the floor. Okay. Yeah, you definitely, even if you weren't able to journal tonight, can still partake in journaling about January. There's going to be future months where we are not doing our month in review spreads until a few days into it, just depending on where the Thursday falls for the first Thursday of the month. It just so happened that this month, the first Thursday was literally the first of the month. I love that. But yeah, if this is the first time that you're even hearing about monthly journaling and the monthly journaling club, and you're like, wow, I'd love to start that, but I didn't know about it, so now I have to wait till next year. Definitely don't take that approach, because I truly believe that you can start monthly journaling at any point in time. Of course, it's great to do it in January, and you could literally start right now if you want to. I would encourage you to start with January since you're watching this video. But if it's later in the year and you want to start, just start where you are with that month. You could even do a review page that is a few months all together if you want to do a quick recap of your year so far and then pick it up. So there's lots of options. But the most important thing is just to start where you are, and don't wait, because you don't want to wait to save your memories, right? Your memories right now are important, so why not start recording them? Could put the snow day one here instead, but I don't think I want to. I would do I'll do one of these down here to journal about Nanny. I like these flowers, kind of remind me of I don't know, like nice flowers that you would give someone to honor their loss. And these flowers are the flowers of the month for January. So that's something I'm going to try to subtly incorporate in each of the month in review, or yeah, each of the monthly printable sheets is the flower of the month. So that way it'll just be a nice little nod that you can pick up on. But it won't always be like super explicit, like this is the flower of the month. I forget what the flowers are. They're written here. Oh, it's a carnation and snowdrops. These are snowdrops. I actually think I'm going to use this snowdrop sticker next to it, because the quote on it, it's very small, it's very hard to read, admittedly, which is kind of the point, but if you can really read it, it says, "The snowdrop reminds us that when winter comes, spring is not far behind." And that actually is also a really beautiful sentiment for grief, right? And the idea that even if we're in a hard time right now, like losing a loved one, it's always important to remember that spring is coming and there's still hope and something to look forward to. Yes, Susie, that is exactly how I got into monthly journaling. Is I just felt a little bit overwhelmed by my daily journal and knew that it just wasn't going to be realistic for me to always keep up with daily entries, but I wanted to still remember all the small and big things of my life and also have a journal that frankly is a little bit easier to look back on and digestible, for lack of a better word, for me and future generations. Hopefully my kids would be interested in looking at it, to look at, because it's not pages and pages and pages and pages and pages of, you know, every single day recorded, but it's just at a glance the main highlights of your life. And it's amazing how even that can tell a pretty incredible story. Belinda, the next date for our session, the first Thursday of the month, is actually March, wait, yes, we'll be in March, March 7th. So we're actually going to be 7 days into the month at that point in time. So definitely make sure that you are taking notes, that you are keeping track of the photos that you want to use, that you have everything kind of prepped and ready to go, since we're going to be creating that spread a little bit later into the month than we did obviously this time. Let's see, I'm trying to remember some of the other things I said I was going to use on this page. So I have this Cheaters Never. Did I glue this down? I did. See, you wouldn't have even known because it was just popping right off. That's what I don't know what it is about my sticker paper and this, or not sticker paper, my photo paper and this type of journal paper. I really like this journal a lot for a lot of different reasons, but I do seem to have an issue sometimes with my photos sticking. If any of you have a really great adhesive that you love and that seems to keep things down, especially if you're using a dingbats, I would love to know. Look at all of our wrong answers. I think we came in like 5th place. One of these days we'll be in the top 3. That's the goal. Pritt stick. Okay. I've heard other people mention that one before too, so that must be a pretty good option. So, okay. That. I don't love how big and in demand this is, just because it's so like bold compared to everything else, because it's the only black thing on the page. And the fact, I don't know, you know, the word cheaters, just, it's a great title for a trivia game, don't get me wrong, but it just kind of has like a negative looking connotation to it. So I think I'm just gonna keep the trivia part and just use that somewhere instead. Plus, we're gonna go in future years or future months, so I can always use that in the future. Okay, lots of approval for Pritt sticks, so I'll have to check that one out. I'm gonna cut my little friend out here. I'm gonna have him like sit on top of this here. And we're gonna cut him a little bit closer. Okay, do I want him up here? I don't know yet what I'm gonna put in this block though. Whereas this section over here is kind of already gonna mention my walks. Just gonna take him for a little ride all over the page. I think I'm gonna stick him over here. I don't know. Maybe not. Oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna put him down here. Final answer. Final answer. We'll see how well this sticks since it's kind of raised up in 3D. Oh no, I got some on the page. This might be nice. This actually works as a really good border. It's kind of just like a frame for that sticker. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna pop that in here so it's not just floating. Doing it on here would also be nice as a background. Sometimes just having some kind of pattern paper or even a piece of craft paper or a little frame around a photo or under a photo can really help to anchor it and make it feel less like it's just floating on the page. And with this, I do want to also add some stats about, especially with it being the start of a new year, where my YouTube channel is at, and also number of patrons, which thank you so much, because it really has increased this last month, I think in large part thanks to the monthly journaling club and so many of you being inspired to take part in it and excited about it. And I'm just so humbled and honored that you are desiring to join this little community on the internet. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. If you're not already and you happen to be watching this and not subscribed or not already signed up on Patreon, I would love for you to join us. So I'll probably just put some stats on there. I'm probably gonna need like a little snowflake, or yeah, maybe a snowflake. So I think what I'm gonna do is just cut out this snowflake, even though it's in a frame and kind of meant to be used as a full sticker. I'm just gonna cut it out and use this part of it. And definitely feel free to do that with the printable stickers too. You can get creative and cut out just parts of them that you want to use. Maybe you don't want the full sticker. You know, like this one, maybe you just want the mittens, you don't want the whole thing. You definitely can play around with cutting stickers in ways that are going to work for you. I do that all the time with the stickers I buy. Where did my broken car go? Here it is. So I just have, I think I'm getting towards the end here, because I have this, kind of live in your natural beauty, which I do love this quote, and I think that would be a nice sentiment for this page. So I might try to use that, and maybe I could just write, or I could layer it, maybe her logo on it. Thank you, Belinda, for hanging out with us, and I hope you have a good evening or day or whatever time zone you're in. I am getting close to finished here, and I will definitely share, because I'm not going to do all of the like little journaling in our live stream today, just for the sake of time, because it is getting late. It's been a long time of journaling, and I am tired, as I'm sure many of you are. But I do want to share with you the finished entry completely, so I will do that in our group chat. I'll do it in the Patreon post of this video. You'll be able to see it, and I will also share it probably on social media, so you'll see it one way or another. Ugh, I hate cutting circles. I'm so bad at it. This paper is super thick too. So I think I'm going to put this here just because, frankly, it's the only place it's going to fit. So sometimes it's a little bit of trying to work out where things will fit when you get towards the end, because you're kind of just building the page organically. But you also, you know, it can be helpful for that reason to lay everything out at the beginning, which I do sometimes, but sometimes I kind of like to just play in one spot and then move on to another and see how the cards may fall. Where are the fun quotes from? Which quotes are you talking about? This quote here is from a basically like business card from the moisturizer that I bought from a friend. No, I don't know where my little, there it is. And the other quotes on this page, most of these, all of these, every other quote, I think, on the page is from my Patreon digital shop. So when you become a patron, you get access to all of them. So there we go. And I'll probably just journal a little bit about that in there. And then we have to talk about the car and trivia. I'm gonna put the trivia piece just right in here. And use I'll write the name of the pub. So you can see that I'm stopping after each letter and picking up my pen. That's what I was talking about with hand lettering. So I do B. You push down for your downstroke, and then down and pull up, and then you pick up your pen, and you're pushing down more on your downstrokes and lighter on your upstrokes and picking up the pen after each letter. So using the same pen as I did over here to have a little bit of cohesion between the two sides, I'll probably try and use it again down here too. So that way there are 3 points in which this same pen color is used, and that will help again add that cohesion to the page. And then I'm gonna just write, made a new friend. We had to sit at the bar on this day, and there was this guy there, and he just kind of started answering the questions with us and became an honorary member of our team. So that was fun. Another fun thing you can do to add visual interest to your page is just switch up your lettering style. So you can see I go back and forth between a more cursive style, then I do all caps, then I might do some lowercase in a standard handwritten font. So switching up your pens, your sizes, your colors, and the fonts that you use, while trying to just pick one or two, maybe three styles, so that you're keeping everything still feeling cohesive. I think chickadees is Ckadees. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure. Okay, and then we need to talk about our car woes. So I think this is going to be like a box dedicated to that. So I'm gonna cut off the mittens because they're not gonna fit, but I like the idea of maybe using this here. And I don't know, I originally was thinking maybe this would be where I write about the car and call it like winter, I don't know, some kind of like funny winter surprises or something that would hint at the kind of unexpected fact that we have to deal with that. But now I'm thinking maybe there's something else that I might want to journal about, like winter, I don't know, but something else that's more reflective that I could do a little reflection on in this space. And then maybe I'll put the car put the car here, and I could journal about it here, and then journal about this here. I would like to layer it though. It feels like it needs something peeking out. You're very welcome, Julie. I'm glad that you were able to make it. Thank you, Jackie, for your kind words. I really appreciate that. Yes, I hope that we find a car that it ends up being a huge blessing that happened, so that he has an even more safe car maybe moving forward. It's just a shame because we didn't have a ton of miles on his car, and it was a Toyota Corolla, so it could have gone for literally ever if it hadn't been hit, but that's okay. The Recharge Your Cell Phone quote is available on Patreon. It is on, I think the collection is called Recharge Your Soul. I could be wrong, but I think that's what it is. But if you look up maybe even just the word soul, I think that's in the title. On Patreon, that collection should come up, or you can just look through either my 2023 printable sticker collection, or it might have been in my 2022 stickers. But if you scroll through those, you'll find that collection. I did get glue here, so I kind of need to put something over it. Maybe it'll come up. Okay, I think we are nearing the end. I just want something with this one, and I feel like it needs to be, I don't know, like kind of funny, or, oh, you know, I did pull aside some of these stickers. There are these ones that have cars. The whole point, they're supposed to be for like a road trip, but I could use them to document this. And actually, the red might not be bad. I was kind of debating about the red on this page, but there is red over here in the Tuesdays with Maury collection. Oh, thank you, Ray. Or Raya. Sorry if I said your name wrong. It's from the June 2022 collection. It's called Recharge Your Soul. That's what this one is from. Yeah, I've made so many at this point that it's hard for me to remember what they're all called and when I created them. But that is one of my favorite collections. I love that collection. So much good use, and yeah, I really liked that question. So here we are with our car. So I think I'm gonna just cut it here and put that there, and then we'll put the car under it. Bye, Kay. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. I'm so glad you guys have had fun hanging out in the chat. Okay, so we have our little cars, one running right into the other. And I'm gonna put my sad little car, RIP, under that. Okay, let me look at my list, because I do always make a list in the Notes app in my phone. I actually keep a running list, literally just called journaling notes. And I'll show you really quick. Yeah, so just journaling notes. And I just keep a bulleted list of everything that we are doing and up to throughout the month, and I just add to it as things are happening. That way I don't forget them. But I think we've added everything. Dress shopping, North Conway, my new habits. Oh, I do want to add, I should add a little Bible or something, because reading the New Testament in the year is also one of the habits. I also could add a journal here. Snow days, rainy days, workouts are represented. Oh, that's something. Oops, see, this popping off because they're not down well. There's a new season of All Creatures Great and Small, which is one of my all-time favorite shows and favorite books. I want to read the rest of the series. I only read the first one, but it's just so good, so good. And it's on PBS if you're interested in checking it out. And it's about a little country vet in Yorkshire, and it's just so good. So that would be a cute thing to add. I was thinking one of these stickers, because they have some of the like farmy stickers. I could do a pig or a chicken. I'll look forward to showing you guys my daily entries. I have been doing some daily journaling, and in a daily entry, I used the cutest image from the Tiny Book of Tiny Pleasures of a dog and a cat, and did hand lettering on it to say all creatures great and small, and it turned out so cute. So that journal's downstairs, so I can't show it with you at the moment. Maybe I'll just do this little, but I don't think there was any chickens in this season, so maybe I just need to make it a cow. This sticker book is the Happy Planner Farmhouse Big Grand sticker sheet, and it's from me and my big ideas. I got it on clearance, I think, because it kind of was on its way out, so I'm not sure if they still sell this kind. They're kind of like always rotating is the problem, so then, you know, they don't always have their older sticker books in stock, which makes it difficult then when people like them because they see you using it and then it's no longer available. It's always a shame. It's a nice thing about printable stickers being always available in my shop, because if you see something you like, it's still there. Okay, so there we go, our little cow. So I'll just write favorite show, and I'll just write it under there. I might just need like a piece of washi or something here, and I'll probably journal maybe about Nanny here. But I think, other than I said I wanted to do a really quick, maybe a quick little journal related sticker in that corner, which is an appropriate thing to end on, a little journal sticker. I might use this one. Just represent the blank page and the fresh start of a new year and starting new journals, new planners. There we go. All right, so I think that's pretty much my completed entry. It did take longer than I intended, but I am so thankful to all of you who have stayed with me through the whole thing. And, you know, if you need to watch this in pieces, that's okay too. But that is going to be my completed entry. So this was my January, lots of highlights with an incredible trip to North Conway in New Hampshire for some incredible fresh air in the mountains and snow experiences. We had some snow days, even when I missed out on it, to go dress shopping with my friend and hang out with her, have a movie night. My favorite show came back and we finished it in a single week. All Creatures Great and Small. You know, just had some like fun little activities thrown in the mix and some small moments as well, like going to a cafe or just reading in bed, listening to some audiobooks. So I'm going to write in the quotes for those ones, starting a new skincare routine. So you can really get a picture of the variety of things that I will journal about to document a month. And it really can be anything that you want to document and reflect on. It doesn't just have to be events. It can be your favorite things. It can be things about the season. It can be what you're proud of. It can be something you're mourning. So just keep that in mind as you continue to work on your entry. And I'll turn the camera around. So I really hope, well, my hair is coming out. I really hope that you had fun, had a great time. Thank you, Wendy. I'm glad you enjoyed yourself. And to everybody else who hung out with us, yes, we will be getting together again in March. So if you are watching this and seeing the replay, you can join us live in March by heading over to my Patreon page and joining for free. Or if you want access to all of the fun stickers you saw me using throughout this entry, you can join one of the paid tiers at any level and get access to those. So I hope that you will consider joining us to document your life next month and get to hang out with us. The recordings will continue to be shared on YouTube, even though the live streams will only be available on Patreon. So you will be able to at least catch up and watch it afterwards. And I hope that it will inspire you to document your own life and maybe do so just 1 month at a time. The whole point is that it doesn't have to be overwhelming. You can spend 2, maybe 3 hours in our case tonight and have an entire month documented in just that one day. So thank you for watching. I need to go shower. My hair looks like it really needs a shower and get to bed. And I hope that you had a great day. And I really hope that you will share your entries with us in Patreon, in our group chat, or on social media. Use the hashtag monthly journaling club and tag me so I can see them. I just love seeing what you guys are creating in your own journals. And I'll just look forward to seeing what you've done and getting together again in March on March 7th at 7 p.m. So add it to your calendars. All right, friends, keep exploring your abiding creativity and document a life abiding in faith, hope, and love.